Greetings, royal subjects. It is I, your king, David, the giant killer. Wait a minute. Who are you? Why do you not bow down to me? Guard! Guards! Well, apparently, you lot are not my royal subjects. You're from some foreign place called Carolina? Sounds like a heathen, barbarian land if you ask me. Well, apparently you aren't really considered heathens anymore. I don't know. Why do you advisors tell me these things beforehand? Well, obviously, I remember what happens last time. But I'm here to tell these good people about the time I killed that giant Philistine marauder Goliath. What do you mean? I'm not telling that story. Well, this is just a mess. I thought I was speaking in a series called The Epic Tales of the Bible. It turns out to be the series called The Epic Fails of the Bibles. I'm supposed to be the one of them. Apparently, I'm supposed to tell you about that my indiscretions with Bathsheba, my compromise of national security, and my government cover-up. What is this, an episode of Homeland Holy Land? Apparently, I'm not even supposed to understand that reference, so, my good people, do you really want me to tell this story? I mean, the Goliath story is so much better, and it certainly makes me look better. No, well, okay, if you ask for it. There I was, the greatest king the land had ever seen. Well, what if I was only the second king? I was still the greatest one. I was a great king because I was sure to look to God every step of the way. And for every victory I won, I gave God all the glory. Because of that, God blessed me, and God blessed all my people. But this story is about the one time that I took my eyes off of God. And I did that because the glory of something else had caught my eye. From my palace window, I saw her, Bathsheba, Uriah's wife, bathing on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew me, and before I knew it, I had done a terrible wrong. I was guilty, and I knew it. And soon the whole world knew it too. Bathsheba was having a baby. And in a mood fit for the Jerry Springer show. What? Apparently, I'm not supposed to know that reference either. In the move, just didn't work out. I called her husband home from the battlefield, so that 9 months later, he would think he was the baby's daddy. But Uriah failed to do as I wanted. So I did the only thing I could think of. I told my general to make sure Uriah didn't make it home from the war. The troops retreated at my order and left him there to die. And I know how cruel and evil that sounds. But I was desperate, and I just have myself to think of, at least. That's what I told myself. I had a whole country counting on me. What could afford another scandal? I told myself that Uriah was just a casualty of war, that he was collateral damage. I told myself that the king was above the law. I was the state. And not even once did I ever think to do the one thing I had always done in times like these. That's the dumbest part of the whole mess. The only way I had ever gone from being the youngest son of a dirt poor farmer to King David, giant slayer, was through the help of the Lord. And the only way I'd ever won a battle or the respect of my own people was to look to the Lord for help. But this time, I was blinded. First by my own selfish desire, then by my failed schemes, and finally by my own shame and regret. By the time Nathan caught up with me, I had convinced everyone I had done my wrong, myself included. That's why Nathan told me that story about the rich and the poor shepherd. God used him to open my eyes to my own sin. That's the worst thing about it, isn't it? God can't abide it. We can't stand the shame of it. And the world is constantly looking to cut us down because of it. And yet, we cannot even seem to escape it. It finds us out. And I ended up paying the most horrible price for my sin you could possibly imagine. And it haunts me every waking moment. I lost my son. And even though I didn't mean to, I still find myself trying to hide from the guilt. While I'm being brutally honest, I should have just go ahead and just tell you this. I knew which story I was supposed to tell you today. I'm not that dumb. I would just rather tell you about Goliath or Uriah, who wouldn't. And it's why I keep these advisors around. Their job is to keep me honest, even when I can't be honest with myself. You're quite welcome. That's my best advice. Learn to be honest with yourself always, and learn to be honest with God too. And surround yourself with true friends who aren't afraid to be honest with you either. If Nathan hadn't shown up at my palace to speak God's word, who knows where I'd be, lost, broken, or alone, with the whole kingdom torn apart. Learn to be honest with God. Find your way. I do it with my music. You know a lot of my songs, actually. They ended up in the Bible as Psalms. This is one I wrote when Nathan came calling.